Indianapolis Motor Speedway stands empty most of the year. On race day, it comes alive.
The silent track waits for traditional ceremony. The long straightaways beckon the sleek machines and their brave pilots. Once a year, the grandstands fill, and each year adds to history. Speed was a part of the mix from the very first race. Ray Haroon, averaging 74 miles an hour, took the first checkered flag. In 1925, Peter DePaulo was the first to average over 100 miles an hour. 65 years later, Holland's Arie Luyendyk drove the fastest race ever at over 185 miles an hour. Arie's first IndyCar win was worth $1 million. This year, too, the Speedway has been kind to Arie.
Is on the pole.
The track is as important as speed. The 40s were tough on the Brickyard, beginning with a race morning garage fire in 1941. It was deserted during the war and became a shambles. Today, it's a proud monument to its owner's love of the sport. There have been great moments of emotion. Sam Hanks, after 12 tries, driving tearfully into victory lane and retiring. Or 2 weeks ago, when the grand champion took his last lap.
Here he is, A.J. Foyt.
There were tears here, too. Indy draws drivers from around the globe. The start in 1966 saw a crash that eliminated most contenders. 500 miles later, Formula One champion Englishman Graham Hill wore the winner's wreath. Last year, three-time Formula One champion Nelson Piquet was eliminated in a devastating crash in practice. Today, he is back. Now, the reigning Formula One champion Nigel Mansell is trying to duplicate Hill's feat. His teammate, Mario Andretti, won here in 1969. Since then, he has been ravaged by bad luck. Today, the most experienced driver in the field starts in the middle of the front row. Here, history has a way of repeating itself. In 1982, a crash at the start eliminated 3 contenders. The race ended with Gordon Johncock beating Rick Mears in the closest finish to that date. Last year, pole sitter Roberto Guerrero's race ended even before the start. 500 miles later, Al Unser Jr. beat Scott Goodyear by the closest margin ever. All 3 are back, called again by the Brickyard's challenge. The Speedway is constantly changing. In 1991, Rick Mears passed Michael Andretti on the outside to take his 4th 500 flag. Today, Rick is retired, tutoring Paul Tracy. And Michael is trying his skill in Formula One. Last Sunday saw the unkindest cut of all, as defending PPG champion Bobby Rahal was bumped from the qualifying field. Every driver here today is well aware that a monster lurks behind the Speedway's wall. A moment's lapse can spell disaster. The new breed of challengers know the road can be hard. Paul Tracy is coming off of his first win. Robbie Gordon drives under the guidance of A.J. Foyt. Stefan Gregoire, at 24, is the youngest driver and the fastest rookie. Brazilian Raul Boisel will start in the front row. Swede Stefan Johansson looks to his first 500. The waiting is over. Loving hands have prepared the cars, hoping theirs will carry its passenger to victory lane, its bottle of cold milk, and the Borg Warner trophy. It is the pinnacle moment in a driver's life. 200 laps ahead, an antique silver cup waits for a new name to be added. The challenge of the Brickyard begins again. There are 500 miles to go. Live from the world's greatest race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's the 77th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. For drivers, this may be the most tense moment of the year, the final minutes before the start of what is dubbed the greatest spectacle in racing. There are so many new faces and new stories this year. We begin with Jack Arute.
Well, the garage of the pole winner, Arie Luyendyk, is empty. His car is already on the line. And Luyendyk is alone with his thoughts in the back. The biggest problem Luyendyk had this morning was bearing the traffic. Heavy traffic made him 45 minutes late to the Speedway. He hopes it's the only problem he has with traffic all afternoon. Let's check in with another story and Gary Gerald.
Rare Jack is the rookie who comes to Indianapolis commanding as much attention as Nigel Mansell, the reigning World Formula One champion. He comes here for a day of first, his first time to race on an oval, his first time ever to go the 500-mile distance. He's now here with teammate Mario Andretti, pondering those uncertainties in the Newman Haas garage as we go to Jerry Punch.
Gary, last year this Aspen, Colorado resident started from the front row. But last week it took an 11th-hour decision to switch cars, coupled with an electrifying qualifying effort in the final minutes to get the 33rd starting spot in today's field. But in many ways for Eddie Cheever, this may be his most gratifying start to date. Let's check in with Sam Posey.
Lynn St. James was last year's Rookie of the Year, but by her own admission, she drove a cautious race, passing few cars. This year, she wants things to be different. If a troublesome misfire that has plagued her car is cured, Lynn plans a very aggressive race. There have been a lot of changes to the track this year, and Bobby Unser is in turn one to tell us how they will impact the way the race is run. Bobby?
Last year, we had 3-lane passing. This year, there won't be any, and if they do, it's going to be right here in the grass, which won't work. The passing this year is going to happen at the end of the long straightaways, across the short chutes, and everybody's mind this year is where, when, and how. And you'll see, and the drivers will figure out how to do it, I promise.
Thank you, Bobby. Today is the most important day in the motorsports calendar. As the clock moves to the start of the engines, a year of dreaming, planning, designing, practicing, and building comes to an end. In the next few minutes, developments. If you don't have a favorite right now, you should be able to pick one by the time the engines start. The Indy car itself is a unique racing machine designed solely to race this 2.5-mile oval with power plants for the long straightaways. It draws global business concerns, each hoping that their logo will be carried by the winning car. It entices every racing driver to accept its simple 200-lap challenge to drive 800 perfect left-hand turns. But the most spectacular draw of Indy is its fans. The old track has charmed millions in its 82 years. Each year, they or their children or grandchildren return, making this the largest single-day spectator sporting event in the world. For now, they wait. In less than an hour, the focus will be on the starting field. The starting field is made up of 11 rows of 3 cars. We'll start in the back with 33rd position. Eddie Cheever started last year on the front row. This year, Eddie was bumped out of the field, but then re-qualified in the last hour with a totally different car supplied by another team. Belgium's Didier Taze was a surprise last-minute qualifier. He'll be driving the Hemmelgarn Buick in his third 500. Jim Crawford has led the 500 8 times. He's best known as a development driver for the Buick engine, but this year he drives a Chevy for drag racer Kenny Bernstein. The Scotsman suffered leg injuries in 1987, but he still runs Indy every year. In the 10th row, a sophomore and 2 veterans. Willie T. Ribb starts his second race from the outside of the 10th row, driving for Walker Motorsports. Jeff Brabham is a 4-time GTP champion in his 10th Indy 500. His father, Jack Brabham, brought the first modern rear-engine car here in 1961. Now it's a museum piece for Jeff to enjoy. Davy Jones excels as an endurance sports car racer. This is his third Indy 500. In the 9th row, one of 5 rookies, a sophomore and a veteran. Dominic Dobson is driving the only Galmer in the field. It's the same chassis type that won last year. Hiro Matsushita of Japan is back for his second race. He missed last year after breaking his leg in practice. Rookie Robbie Gordon is driving for A.J. Foyt. In the Indy cars, he finished third this year in Australia. His background is off-road racing. In 1989, he won the Baja 1000 with a 17-hour solo drive. 3 times he's hit the wall in practice this May. But with A.J.'s guidance, Robbie is ready.
And Robbie Gordon is in A.J. Foyt's garage area. Your final thoughts, Robbie. A tumultuous month for you, but now it's down to your first Indy 500.
Well, it gets started here in a few minutes, but, I know the first 400 miles doesn't mean much. It's the last 100 that does, and it's the last lap that means the most. So we got a pretty good game plan. We're going to stick by it and see what happens.
Paul, the crew has faxed in a message to Robbie Gordon from their Houston, Texas place, and it says, race day, be sure to be cool and fast and stand on the gas.
Robbie Gordon.
One of those is ready. 38 minutes to the start of the engines. 26,000 horsepower. The combined power of those 33 will roar to life.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Indianapolis 500. Brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft Light. The cold filtered light with smooth draft taste. MGD Light. Say no more. By A1 Steak Sauce. A1, it's how burgers are done. By the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
In this massive crowd are many fans hoping that Mario Andretti will score a win today. Mario won from the center of the front row in 1969. Last year, Eddie Cheever was the first driver to finish the 500 miles from that position since Mario's win. We continue our look at the starting field in the 8th row. John Andretti's legacy is racing. His uncle is Mario. His godfather is A.J. Foyt, his car owner. This year, he came to Indy without a ride, test hopping for other drivers. Lately, John has satisfied the need for speed by racing a top fuel dragster in NHRA. Al Unser in the 80 car is the only active 4-time winner. He won his first Indy in 1970. Last year, his son added his likeness to the Borg-Warner Trophy as the first father-son combination. Tony Bettenhausen is continuing his family's drive in a 93 Penske Chevrolet. But this year, Tony is both an owner and a driver. To the outside of the 7th row is Lynn St. James. This sports car graduate is in the spirit of the American woman number 90. Last year, her spirit and drive helped Lynn add her name as the first woman Rookie of the Year at Indy. Wisconsin's Stan Fox is a top midget driver. Today he starts his 6th Indy 500 in the middle of row 7. Jimmy Vasser began racing Formula 4. This is his 2nd Indy 500. In the 6th row, Gary Bettenhausen continues his search for an Indy 500 win in his 21st race. His close-knit family lives near the Speedway in Monrovia, Indiana. Gary took a scary ride on his first qualifying run. But he came back to qualify 18th and try again. 10 years ago, Teo Fabi was the rookie pole sitter here. Today, the Italian starts after a 2-year absence. Jeff Andretti is starting his 3rd race inside row 6. During last year's Indy 500, a wheel came off of Jeff's car, sending him nearly head-on into the wall. With his father's help, Jeff struggled back with his goal to drive in this year's race.
Well, Jeff Andretti, we just saw that video, the horror that you experienced a year ago. During all the months of the painful recuperation, rehabilitation, did you ever think you'd get another opportunity to challenge this racetrack again?
Well, I wasn't quite sure that I'd get an opportunity, but I was really thankful that the Pagan Racing team thought enough of me to give me another chance to